Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we've got a story that equals parts fascinating, concerning and maybe even a little funny, if it wasn't to be so serious. I'll keep things light-hearted though, as we're just talking about the government, privacy and of course being watched all the time. Not a big deal, right? Stick around, as even if you think it doesn't involve you, I think you'll find you are wrong. So then, the government is about to roll out this new bill called the Fraud, Error and Debt Bill. Sounds harmless enough, but it's actually pretty damn huge. The idea is to stop benefits fraud because, yeah, no one likes scammers stealing money from hard-working taxpayers, etc. But here's where things get interesting. This bill gives the Department of Work and Pensions, or the DWP, some powerful tools. People in the UK will know what I'm on about here, but there are similar systems throughout the Western countries. This gives them the ability to check your bank accounts if they suspect you're claiming more than you should. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I don't claim benefits, so this doesn't affect me. So why do I need to watch this video? But hold on. This is where you are wrong. This could be the start of something much bigger. Sure, they say it's just for people on benefits, but once that door is open, who's to say they won't start looking at everyone's account? And honestly, it's not like we aren't already being watched. Think about it. We're already being tracked on social media. Every time you post something, like something, or even scroll past something, it's logged somewhere. And people have been penalised or cancelled for things they've said online even years ago. We're living in a time when what you do on social media can seriously impact your life. And now, we're adding bank accounts to the list of things the government can check in on. This is starting to feel a little Orwellian, don't you think? The government says this is all about saving money. They claim benefit fraud costs us 10 billion a year. But privacy campaigners, charities and everyday folks are starting to ask some pretty serious questions. Like, are we okay with the idea of being monitored like this? And even if we are, where does it stop? Because once this kind of power is given, it's really hard to take back. Now, don't get me wrong, cracking down on fraud is hugely important. No one's arguing with that. But here's where it gets a little murky. The bill gives the government the power to peek into certain people's bank accounts. But at that same time, there are groups, certain demographics, who seem to be given a bit of a different deal. Or are they? Do they honestly think they are not being monitored? While many UK nationals are being asked to navigate this complex benefit system and meet these new responsibilities, some people get support without facing the same level of scrutiny. Now, I'm not here to cause any upset or stir the pot. I think we all agree that fairness is key. But it does make you wonder, is the playing field really even? The question isn't just about benefits, it's about how these new rules are applied and who they're applied to. Are we making sure everyone is treated fairly with the same responsibilities and expectations? Or are some being given a free pass while others face stricter rules? It's a delicate conversation and I'm not here to throw stones. I just think it's worth considering what's happening when some people are held to different standards. And it's not just about benefits anymore, is it? With social media, our phones and now our bank accounts potentially under surveillance, where does the monitoring end? Once we normalise this idea that this level of control is acceptable, it's not hard to imagine that one day everyone's financial activities could be monitored, not just for benefits, but for whatever new reason comes along. CBDCs, or better probably understood as central bank digital currency, comes to mind. The government says there will be safeguards in place. Don't worry, we won't share your personal info with third parties, they say. But if we've learned anything from the world we live in now, it's that things have a way of expanding. What starts as a measure to stop fraud can easily become something more invasive over time. You know, like when you agree to one little thing in terms and conditions box, and the next thing you know, you're getting ads for things you've just talked about. So where does that leave us? Well, here's the deal. We all want to stop fraud and make sure the system is fair, but we also need to protect our privacy and freedoms in the process. Once we give away certain rights, it's really hard to get them back. And with everything we're already seeing, social media tracking, penalties for what people post, and now this, it's more important than ever to stay informed. At the end of the day, it's about balance. Yes, we need to stop fraud, but we also need to make sure that we're not slowly giving away our freedoms in exchange for so-called security. And if this kind of surveillance keeps growing, it's not just benefit claimants who should be worried, it could be all of us. So what do you think? Are we headed down a slippery slope? Is this really about fraud, or could this be the start of something much bigger? Let me know in the comments. And as always, stay informed, stay aware, and make sure you are the one keeping an eye on things before someone else does.